for the Cup final later this afternoon. First of the day here from Eagle River under a bright sunshiny sky. We are green. Will Garceau quickly into the throttle. Fast Traeger Willie instead of Slick Willie, and we've got trouble right away. Crash into the corner. Rider is up. Dramatic incident going up the hill. We've got the 61, Ezra Grauman, but Ezra up and looking over the sled. Crews on the scene right away. Actual debris field there. For the first time, got a chance to take a ride around Eagle River, not on a snowmobile, on the Gator yesterday, and it's an imposing sight as you come down the front stretch and that back stretch. As you're approaching those corners, it's almost as if you are going toward a wall of ice, the high bank. Crew on the scene right away. Ezra up. I'm sure he'll get the mandatory ride in the Gator, as they're going to put that sled on the board. Ezra had an incident yesterday in the Formula 3, a couple of them. They had to put that one in the trailer for the day then. Out with the camper for the first time in the season this weekend. Had a good day yesterday, shaking out the bugs, but this one perhaps ends quickly. So this race one of the day, obviously race two will be the second heat for the Champers. Race three, we'll have our junior sprint classes coming out for the first time of the weekend. Race four, F500. Race five, we will turn the mic over to Becky as PVR takes over. Yeah, Ezra not taking the Gator ride as he will walk. That's that long walk back into the paddock area. And looking to be no worse for wear. Quite clearly, no laps in the books. We will restart from scratch. Yesterday, for the most part, fairly incident-free. Prefer not to have this be a little indication of what will happen today. Full 5 laps to go. And again, I would have to guess the 31 will probably do what he did before and take that extreme inside line. So driver and sled safely taken off the track, and we'll reboot. Notoriously first off the line, sometimes a little too first. So from that inside spot, we'll give the rest of those guys a bit of a handsful if he gets that jump again. Yep. All right, lined up. Every once in a while you say something, and by gosh, if it doesn't happen that way. There goes Will Garceau. Now trouble in the corner. It is Garceau. Well, we put the spotlight on him. Unfortunately, he ends up catching the inside and will be a spectator for the rest of this one. Second lap, gonna go in the books. He was a podium guy yesterday. He's in the lead now. That's Justin Peterson with Brandon Christensen giving chase. Bennett rides next, and then Spencer Landry. So a good start and a good day ends in a hurry, or at least this race ends in a hurry for Will Garceau. They put that caution flag out for a lap, letting the rest of the riders know that there is a sled down right at that corner. Rico's got the white flag, and we've got one more lap to go for Justin Peterson. Young Brandon Christensen keeping him in his sights. Brandon was the top point driver in USSA last year, coming up through the ranks. Maybe the youngest to ever have that distinction. And look, it's very solid here, chasing a guy with a lot more champ experience than he has. And it is Justin Peterson who will take the win. Well, an eventful first race. One thing, we said no practice yesterday, no practice today. First time they're seeing the ice today, which is a bit different than yesterday after a grooming session early on. Garceau able to get on the sled and head for the paddock area. Now, kind of an interesting thing, his backup sled is coming out right now. We've got a little cross training going on. We've invaded the PVR ranks. Bryce Tresniak will be coming out from Friendship, Wisconsin. I believe he's on the Garceau backup sled.
He is. Yeah, he came in to the registration building this morning and registered to ride Will's backup sled, so he's very excited.
And this will be his first champ heat. He will be joined by Griffin Lepak, the All-American Arctic Cat #1. Good day yesterday. Nice solid day in his second full year of racing in the champs. It's Ryder Waddell from Lodi, Wisconsin. From Dayton, Minnesota. Looking very strong in his first time out. That's Calvin Cook, the 75. From Fox Lake, Wisconsin on a Skidoo, it's Dustin Schwant, the 326. Jocelyn Rathke from Wausau, second year on the Champer. That's the number 30. And our winner yesterday from New Germany, Minnesota, multi-time world champion. Yes, that is Matt Gady. Now, Lepak decides to go. Now, Becky was just asking me, do they have to line up next to the guy or can they just go wherever? Bryce not used to that. He's got to line up either inside or outside. He wanted to get a little further outside, but he's got to get right next to one of the sleds. In line. And
yes, I know that certain people pick, certain areas and stuff, but I didn't realize that these guys had to go in a certain order.
Yes.
Once that first person.
Yes. Random number generation dictates who goes to the line at what time. Again, these are 5 lappers instead of the 7. Here we go. Race number 2 is green. Calvin Cook with a lightning start, and Calvin will put the 75 to the point with Gady right behind, and we've got an incident again. So it is Bryce Tresniak on the Garceau backup machine up into the bales between 1 and 2. Well, that's just about exactly where Ezra came to a rest. Both riders up and okay. So that is, it's a 31 might be on the sled, but his number is 77. So we're scoring him as 77, and maybe looked a little more dramatic than what it was, as Bryce is able to drive the sled away. Bring it over. We're going to give it a look, see if he's going to be able to continue on. No, they're pulling it off. Oh, they're putting the boots on. Little bit of bail repair. After this race is complete, apparently that 61 sled is okay. They're going to give Ezra a safety lap to make sure. On deck, race 3, junior sprinters. It'll be a combined event. 12 to 14-year-old can qualify for junior 1 entrant there. 14 to 17-year-olds, the junior 2. So we'll have a little bit of a race within a race. We'll run them together. Another sled right at the beginning to the paddock. So trouble perhaps for Dustin Schwant. Jocelyn Rathke also for the moment right at the mouth of the paddock. Well, both getting the thumbs up, and we're clear. Again, Lepak will set. And then they go inside versus out. Ryder Riddell chooses inside. Calvin Cook does as well. Dustin Schwant to the inside. No, he was pointed off. Gady and then Rathke. So there was some concern. He was in the right before the paddock. Thought they could continue on, but now Dustin is going to take it behind the wall. It's a 5x5 now, 5 laps with 5. Now that restart wiping away that nice lead that Calvin Cook had. On our first go-round, this time it's Matt Gady off the line, first and into the corner. Cook settling into the second spot behind that 28. Lap number 1 of 5 will go in the books for Matt Gady. Cook being chased right now by Riddell in third, and then it's Lepak 4. Jocelyn running in the 5th spot early on. Better start this time for Gady, or maybe not quite as much on the button for the 75, allowing Matt Gady to take command right away and beginning to pull away from Calvin Cook. Pass attempt coming up and made by the 30 as the one that perhaps with some trouble, Griffin off the pace. First time out this weekend for the All-American Ari Cat, and Griffin is going to bring her to the infield, or rather to the inside. They'll put the caution flag up for left, let the riders know that Griffin is there, safely off the sled and out of the racing line. We stay green, and they're staggered across the track. Everybody chasing the 28. Cook the 75, Riddell the 4, and the 30 of Rathke. They are getting points through these qualifying rounds, which will put you in that front row if you accumulate enough. And the checker for Gady. And there's some teams having very good point days here in this first round. Event number 3 is next. Junior 1 sprinters. Oh, I think we got the Ezra thing, maybe. Lucas Zadroik, the 19Z from Eagle River, is the lone Junior 1. 3 in Junior 2. Waylon Corpita from Wausau says it's a TNN champion, made famous by Nick Van Stryden. Waylon the 626. Ben Meyer from Michigami, Michigan, one of our Michigan missiles. And Oliver Davis from Stevens Point, a wall chassis sprint machine. Those would be the 3 Junior 2. Up next, F500, race number 4 and race 5. Then we go PBR racing. Super seniors. I like that. 70 and older. You can run those guys right away in the morning because us old timers, we can't sleep, you know.
Actually, Jeffrey Voss, senior, that'll be out there. His daughter raced yesterday, and his granddaughter and grandson were also out there on the 120s. So 2 different families in vintage racing had grandpa, and then son or daughter, and then grandchildren.
I thought maybe that was the case. That's cool. So Ezra came out. That's the Formula 3. There's an incident with that, actually 2 yesterday, so he got a safety lap with that. Normally we would have maybe handled that at practice, but we didn't have practice. So we'll make sure Ezra and his F3 are in good shape, and apparently so. Is ARP, by the way, the sponsor of Super 70s? I actually think that's an opportunity for you guys. You should really pursue that. I can make jokes like that because guess why? I'm eligible by a lot. This is kind of, I said yesterday, Pro Light is the AAA of Champ Racing. We have AA of Champ Racing here with the junior sprinters. Gives them a chance to try their hand at a purpose-built racing sled. And through the years, quite often, some of the best racing you're going to see are in these particular divisions. This will be a 3-lap event. We've got 4 sleds coming up. Again, Lucas Zadroik, kind of by himself. And that is Lucas right there. Meyer is the 11. The red and blue 29 is Oliver, and Waylon, the 626, into the second spot. 3 laps for the junior sprinters. Green. Good jump by Ben Meyer. Said AAA is the Pro Light class. His brother, the other Michigan missile, won the Pro Light class yesterday, and Ben will take the top spot now, but here comes Oliver Davis. Oliver with a run on the high side. Through 3 and 4, down the front stretch they come, side by side as Oliver Davis will move past. Waylon Corpita right there. Waylon up a little high, gaining some momentum as he fires her down the back stretch. White flag coming out. I'll tell you, these sprint sleds get around in a hurry. And 3 laps will go by before you know it, and they almost are. Oliver Davis pulling away from Meyer. Waylon Corpita right there on his heels. Getting the jump was Meyer at the line, but then he came through, took charge, and pulls away with an Oliver Davis with the win. Meyer second. Third for Waylon. Oliver had a lot of racing yesterday. He's going F500 too. There's a progression you have to go through if you're junior ages, kind of move up. This is junior one. This is the junior sprinter. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to speak out of school, but he can do that. But he is jumping up into the F500, I believe. F500 is next. No, there's extra money in the F500 class today. It's $1,000 on top of the purse. Kyle Kubik did quite a bit of racing yesterday, both organizations. He's from Kewanee and is the 25. Rich Mort from Eagle River will be on the 48. Colton Kershaw won the Sport 500 yesterday for USSA. He's from Oconomowoc. Mike Favorite from Eagle River is the 02. Ben Meyer from Michigami, Michigan is the 11. He raced yesterday, did Matt Bennett, in the PVR F500 field. And Oliver Davis is the 29. So the guys we just saw in the sprinters out in the F500 class. So busy day yesterday for Matt Bennett, busy day today, running 2 divisions. I don't know if he's in any of your PBR races too today or not.
I would have to look through.
Great. Pooping on the inside. Meyer next to him are the first 2 off the line. Here's Ben Meyer in the 11 sled coming through 1 and 2, and he will establish the point. F500s are all on the same racing platform, same engine package, and this is what you usually get. Everybody racing in a bunch. First lap to go in the books, and it belongs to Ben Meyer. Kubik is next, and then comes Rich Mort. Oliver Davis into 4th. On to the corner, and down they go. Meyer stretching it out just a bit. No, Kubik coming in a hurry in the middle line. 1 more lap to go for Ben Meyer. Bennett has gotten around Davis. Matt Bennett now in the 233 sled has 4th, wants 3rd. He will take a look to the inside. Here comes Matt Bennett. Race for position there is 3rd. Up front, all Ben Meyer. Checker flag in this fast 3-lapper. About to come down for Ben Meyer in the 11. Kubik next, and Bennett will get him at the line. Bennett the 3rd place finish with Rich Mort nipped at the wire. We have our, I was calling it the ballet, the dance, as we switch flags, men, we switch scoring personnel. We switch announcers. So the first USSA group of races is in the books. We turn our attention to Pro Vintage Racing and Becky.
Race number 5 of the day is a Super Seniors 250 Super Stock Free Air Fan, 70-year-old and older drivers. This will be a 3-lap final for these drivers. All 3 are on the track. We have the B52 of Rick Bartel from Shiocton on his Polaris, Bob Carlin from Decorah, Iowa, 35C, and Jeffrey Voss Sr. from Mayville on the 73V. So all 3 driving Polaris Super Seniors 250 Super Stock Free Air Fan, 3-lap final. Bob Carlin on the outside leads them around 1 and 2. Jeffrey Voss in that second position, followed by the B52 and Rick Bartel. Again, the 3-lap final for these drivers. Green lap is complete. Thank you to Quality Freight Rate, Rugged Radios, Meyer Yamaha, Castle X, Fuel Factory for being our premier partners of Pro Vintage Racing. White flag this time for Bob. Here comes the 73V of Jeffrey Voss Sr. B52 of Rick Bartel. Like I said, Jeffrey Voss, grandpa, his daughter raced yesterday on the camp house, and then his grandchildren were out on the 120s. Riley and Raymond, one of 2 families that have grandparents, parents, and grandchildren out on the track for vintage. Congratulations to Bob Carlin. He is our Super Seniors 250 Super Stock Free Air Fan winner at the World Series event at the WCDC track. Jackson Peters, also a grandson of Jeffrey Voss Sr. He is going to be out in this next heat. These are juniors too, 13 to 17-year-old drivers, Super Stock 340 Free Air, Pure Stock 400 Free Air fan sleds. Our juniors have a heat race, and later on they will have a final. Again, 13 to 17-year-olds here. This is race number 6 of the day out of 40 races today. Jackson Peters on the 73P Polaris out of Waupun. The 69X is Jesse Lemke from New London, and the M38 right in the middle there is Grayson McKeever, also from New London. Jesse Lemke having a great start. He's going to lead them around. Jackson Peters in that second spot, followed by McKeever. This will be a 3-lap heat. Again, these will go to the final. All of our juniors will have both a heat and a final. White flag is out this time. Todd Persia, our flagman for Pro Vintage Racing. Waving that first for Jesse Lumpke, Jackson Peters, and Grayson McKeever. McKeever took over that second spot. As they come down the backstretch, they got one more corner here. Jesse Lumpke taking the win. Grayson McKeever taking second, and Jackson Peters taking third. They will be back for a final later on in the day. That was race number 6. As they're going to exit the track. Race number 7 is Superstock 440 Fan and Modstock 440 Free Air and Modstock 340 Liquid Cool. This will be a 5-lap final. We did have a scratch. Barrett Feedy will not be in any of the races that he had signed up for. So we will have the number 15 of Ron Keel Jr. out of Madison on his Polaris, the 77X of Donnie Feedy from Mondovi on his Mercury, and the 323 of Todd Marquardt from Rhinelander on his Polaris. Alrighty, we were just told that Donnie Feedy is a scratch. On the outside here, we have the 15 of Ron Keel Jr., and on the inside, the 323 of Todd Marquardt. This will be a 3-lap final. Marquardt, the leader of the two. Here comes the 15 in hot pursuit. Completed the green flag lap. Gonna take the high line this time. The 15 now passes Marquardt. They go into 3 and 4, coming around for the white flag. Oh, something happened to Marquardt's sled. And on the knee, Sunday Stroll. Oh, he did stay out there. Seems to have a little more speed now. Not enough to catch the 15 of Ron Keel Jr. He is going to take the checkered flag. Again, that was a Superstock 440 Fan and Modstock 440 Free Air and Modstock 340 Liquid Cool final. They each are first place winners because they are in 2 different classes. There's actually 3 classes put together here. And we had lost 2 drivers, the Feedies. As they exit the track, race number 8 is Superstock 250 Free Air and Liquid Cooled Superstock 340 Fan final. There's to be 6 drivers for that 3-lap final. Pro Vintage Racing. Each of our drivers gets to pick 2 of their classes to go for Snow Pro Series points. Our Snow Pro Series partners are Marchbank Racing, Blascotch Underground, Squirrel Cage, Wisconsin Shower Door, Feedy Well Drilling and Team Extreme, Mickey Sled Motorsports, Glory Days, Hedberg Well Drilling, Cousins Custom Body and Paint, Fowler Parts Service, Meyer Yamaha, Minnesota Communications, Murray Transport and Recovery, Next Gen Utility, Pingle Enterprise, Priest Lake Marina and Resort, and Quality Freight Rate, as well as Smith Winter Products. We have the 323 of Todd Markwart from Rhinelander, the 77X of Donnie Feedy, the 80X of Sarah Schindler, the 128 of Jordan Siebold, and the 72T of Tim Shaw. AJ Rickert was a scratch. Donnie Feedy, your early leader. Goes a little high. See how that works out for him. He is neck and neck. He does pull ahead by the time they get to 3 and 4. It is Feedy, Siebold, Schindler, Markwart, and Shaw as they come across for the green flag in the Superstock 250 free air and liquid cooled Superstock 340 fan final. Coming around for the white flag. Donnie still leading over the 128 of Siebold. Sarah Schindler in that third spot. Margaret Twine. Oh, everything to get around. Oh, and she does. There was a little rocking action. I thought she was going to save it, but she did go over. That was Sarah Schindler. She is up. I can I can see a little bit of movement on the other side of the snow there. Donnie Feedy taking the win. Jordan Siebold taking second, the 323 of Markwart taking third, followed by the 72T of Tim Shaw. Yeah, there was a little bit of rocking back and forth. I thought she was going to maybe save it, but she is on the other side of the snowbank here. I can't see her. Yeah, she's up. Race number 9 is our Pure Stock 503 fan-only IFS. We'll be their 3-lap final. We do have 6 drivers scheduled to be on the track. From Eagle River, the 02 sled, Michael Favorite. From Rhinelander on the 232 is Eric Bennett. From New London, the 314, Wade Beener Sorensen. The 707, James Clark from Kenosha. The 15 of Ron Keel Jr. from Madison, and from Clintonville, the 23X, Jimmy Ream. Another all Polaris class, Pure Stock 503 fan only IFS.
Okay, Todd.
Following race number 9, we will go to a plow break and then come back with Pro Star action. We have the 707 of James Clark, the 15 of Ron Keel Jr., and the 02 of Favorite battling for that first spot. Looks like the 15 of Ron Keel Jr. is just a little ahead. 707 is
Red
right
flag,
there.
red.
We have a driver down. That is the 314 of Biener. He is getting up. Alrighty, Biener is under his own power here. He's got a piece in his hand, it looks like.
That's his hand.
Alrighty, getting rid of the handguard. Will be checked out, make sure his sled is able to compete in the competition.
Has some value. More than
It
2
actually
cents.
makes
Will be a complete restart for this, as they did not have a full lap complete before the red flag.
5 cents worth.
Alrighty, lining back up. And the 314 will start in the back, as he was the cause of the red flag. Looks like his windshield is broke there. But still able to compete. Him and his wife, Corrine, celebrated their 11th wedding anniversary yesterday on Valentine's Day. The 02 and the 707 shot off the line at the same time. They are neck and neck. The 15 of Ron Keel is going to try to get ahead of them like he did in the last run. Green flag waving. Oh, hold on to it, favorite. 707 of James Clark, your leader, followed by the 15 of Ron Keel Jr. Favorite shuffled down to that third spot. We do have a plow break following the Pure Stock 503 fan-only IFS final here. Ron Keel looking over his shoulder to see how close Favorite is. They're being followed by the 23 of Ream. Bennett and Beener. Checkered flag for James Clark. Keel, Favorite, Ream, Bennett. That's Eric Bennett. And the 314. Looks like he did lose part of his windshield there. That his numbers were all there. You could tell that it was cracked though, and there was only like the 4 as he went by. So he probably lost that other part of the windshield somewhere in the ride. Alrighty, we are going to a plow break before we come back for Pro Star Cup action.
It will be the Outlaws when we return. We'll see them for the first time on Sunday here at the World Series. We are, of course, at the World Championship Derby Complex in Eagle River, Wisconsin. 2 actual World Championship races every year. The Vintage and the Modern. And then we have the World Series, all made possible by the fine sponsors here in Eagle River. For 2026, FloRacing, John Deere, Western, DSG, WPS, Trigg Smokehouse. I did make my regular stop at Triggs.